Hey guys, so welcome back. Welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time joining us to Ascending with TIFFTALKS22. So, um, wow, I feel like we are just really in a period in this time of year where we're moving through to the new year, like the new natural year, because spring for me starts the natural new year. And so I feel like transformation, cycles ending is a major part of what we are all experiencing in one way or another. It could be a good transformation, right? Where it's like, okay, I'm out of this like lack mindset and moving into this more abundant mindset. Or it could be something that's painful, but you also know it's still time to move on or to let go. Whatever the case it is for you, we are going to talk about that last little part, right? Letting go. The question that Spirit gave to me was, what are you giving your energy to that you need to let go of? Um, and of course, I have so many, unfortunately, so many tragic experiences, right, that I could draw on to kind of give like an example about this energy. But we're definitely going to use just a couple today. Many of you know that I have a son with Down syndrome. Not all of you know. But when he was born, I didn't know that this was going to be the case, right? So I finally wrapped my head around motherhood because, yeah, we wasn't so excited about that. But I finally wrapped my head around it. I started allowing myself to get excited. And then when he showed up, he had all these issues and they had to do like life saving surgery the next day. And so he's up to now, he's had probably about 9 surgical procedures for various things. Anyway, but initially, honey, I was not prepared emotionally um to deal with the situation. I was angry with the universe. I was angry with God. This is something that was changing in my life. I could see no way that good was going to come from it, etc. Um, but also, right, this is my child. This is the kid that I've carried for 9 months, right? So if I don't show up for him, who the hell else is gonna do it, right? So I kind of had to suck that up to be able to do what I needed to do for him, right? For us to continue to be able to work together and make progress towards his ultimate healing and his ultimately thriving. I had to get out of my depression, my anger, and shift my focus, right? And please don't get it twisted. Well, immediately I went into mom mode, okay? But like those feelings and emotions that came with that, oh child, it took years. It took years for me to move through that. Um, I was not and am not the type of person that I am now, where I am trained or conditioned or programmed to look for the good, or to be optimistic, or to have faith in outcomes. I was not this person, right? And so that has truly, truly, truly helped. Um, for sure. But then also, as my journey progressed, I was able to look back and really examine what it is that I got or how I benefited from this gift of a human being being brought into my life and me being charged with the assignment of taking care of, nurturing, and loving this kid. Anyway, so we're gonna get into it just a little bit, but not too deeply. Um, Cause yeah, I don't feel I don't feel super emotional about it because I feel like I've told his story like so many times to so many different people. And that in itself is progress for me, right? But I wanted to get back to what it is that you may need to let go of. It could be something similar like that, like anger or sadness, depression. This could be a result of a relationship, or you could be needing to let go of the actual relationship, right? And the relationship ending could be because of like a bad breakup or losing someone to death. Like maybe we got plenty of examples, okay? But I ain't gonna do y'all like that today. But I do remember the one relationship. I was like, I know this ain't for me. I refused to pray about that relationship because I knew if I did, God was gonna say, girl, he's got to go, right? And I was not ready to be alone. However, times like we are in right now, this energy of transformation, the universe has a way of forcing our transition, right? It's not that it's going to get easier, um, as time goes on, especially when you are super aware that there's something that you need to change or let go of, right? We could also be attached to certain material things or certain money or material things, right? Or items, right? Say, say you holding on to something is like a clothing item. It's got holes in it. Um, it's worn down. I'm thinking about my son in these dang house shoes right now. It's got holes in it. It's worn down. It's not that you can't replace it, but you are so attached to this thing, right? It may be time for you to let it go so you can usher in some fresh new air, right? Even in holding on to, sometimes people hold on to or hoard material things to hold on to the memories, right? I remember seeing a lady who had like lost a lot of people in her life. And so the way that she combated that was to start just holding on to things, right? Like I lost this person, but they can't take my stuff from me until guess what? The city had to come help her and take her stuff away from her because it was creating a health hazard, right? But the purpose behind her holding on to it was to kind of hold on to the past. So those are times where you have to really cling to your memories and force yourself to move forward. There may be certain mindsets that you need to let go of they may have served you a purpose at some point, right? But they may be immature, they may be outdated, and also, again, just hindering your progress, right? Kind of like, let me give you an example. Like when we're younger. Oh, I did a good example of this it's on Patreon. It's a Patreon video I think I shared. But I had an ex that I was so disrespectful in that relationship. I was young. Don't judge me. I was so disrespectful in that relationship. And this man was just trying to love me. Uh but I think back to that time and I was like, ain't no way that should have been deemed as acceptable. But because he was who he was, he kind of allowed that behavior, like kind of in his face. Anyway, yeah, but that's a mindset today that, like, at the time, I feel like it helped me to stay kind of disconnected um, from feeling or being vulnerable in the relationship, kind of kept me being the one in charge. But where I am now, that mindset and what I want and desire in a connection and a partnership, ooh, get it out, Tiffany. What I desire and I want in a partnership, those are mindsets that would not serve me. So those things had to change in order for me to be able to be open to something new, right? So it could be a mindset, it could be material things, it could be a relationship, it could be just a circumstance or situation, right? You know what they say, sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? So once you are so sick and tired of being sick and tired, that discomfort is going to motivate your actions. Does that make sense? What are some of the pitfalls of hanging on to some of these things? Of course, it slows your progress. It slows your progress towards what it is you're trying to achieve, your goal, or what you're trying to do for yourself, right? Because life is constantly moving and we are constantly evolving. Things in our lives are constantly changing. So if we are not willing to change or to do something different, then we kind of will get left behind, right? Um, and it just kind of keeps you from, like I said, attaining success, achieving your goal, because you're trying to do something the 1950s way, and here we are, 2020, right? So of course it's going to stagnate your growth, because growth comes from change and transformation. Literally, if you are not growing, you dead. Think about that. Think about that in nature. When plants stop growing, it's a dead plant, right? So, of course, not being open to or accepting or embracing change, it stagnates your growth. Also, it can block like the pathways for new creative energies. So, I don't know if you guys believe that or not, but I've definitely come to believe, and I currently believe, that everything is or has energy. So if you're holding on to all of these things, these items, these beliefs, these behaviors, these mindsets from 20 years ago, and nothing has changed about it, you are essentially placing yourself. I just saw 1111 on the clock. Yeah, folks. Uh, you are essentially placing yourself in a time warp, right? Who wants that? So, how do we move out of these things? Identify what your insecurities are. What is it that keeps you from letting go? For example, if you've lost a loved one and you're like, I'm gonna hold on to this forever, and say it's something that is so outdated, it's taking up space, it's no longer operating. Why are you holding on to that? Are you afraid that you will lose a memory if you let go of this material item? When memories tend to typically last longer than the physical item, right? Um, your insecurities, where I just told you about the relationship, right? I already knew my insecurity was I did not want to be alone, or at least without this person and their energy at the time. And it was toxic as heck, y'all. It was so toxic. It was so toxic. It was so toxic. But I also knew that, and I knew that's what God was going to tell me. So, yeah, there's that. But whatever your insecurity is, what is it that has you afraid to embrace this change? Do you feel like you're going to fail? Do you feel like it's going to be too big of a challenge, right? Identify your insecurities, because knowing what it is that's keeping you there is kind of gives you time to shift your mindset, so to speak, right? So when I already realized that, okay, I'm not gonna be able to let go of this relationship, or I'm not gonna be able to pray about this relationship, and I'm knowing why I'm saying this, I already have to wrap my head around this thing ain't gonna last forever, right? So you kind of start preparing yourself for the ending, because you at least become aware of the fact that it is time, right? So also, there's a need to have faith in your divine support, or the people coming in or who be guided into your life are going to offer you that type of support. Um, and when I think about my son's journey, like, my faith was zero, because I was so angry. Like, I'd almost felt betrayed by the universe, so to speak. Like, you let me get excited about this. Even with my sister passing away, and that tragic occurrence, which I'm not going to tell that story. I feel like I've told that several times, but I probably have, but maybe not on camera. One day, even in my sister passing away, I kind of grieved her loss before she left, right? After her surgery. And then it was like, da, 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 I'm okay. And I was like, okay, cool. Then the next day, found her deceased. And I was like, why? My initial reaction, though, was God's will, God's will, God's will. But I feel like there was a little bit of upset, because, like, here you go again, universe. And the universe was like, well, you felt it intuitively, and you didn't trust your intuition on that. But I feel like the pain would have been the same either way. But I I had to really come out of that grief period and that depression and anger and sadness about her leaving me behind. I really, really, really had to rely on God, on Source, cause boy, ain't no way other than that. And then you also have to really trust that there are going to be people, because there were people who showed up for me, that these were not friends that I talked to every day. These are friends that I had known for a long time. They knew the depth of the connection that I had lost. So they just wanted to show up and be there for me. Damn it. I was doing good. I'm not gonna cry. Anyway, and so it's like, even though I had lost that one relationship, I was able to rely on support from these other individuals who were super helpful to me at the time from an emotional standpoint, even though I was just laying in my room crying, right? I think back about that now, how my friends were there, they were cooking, they were cleaning, they were doing all these things. And it was just to be supportive or to show support, because I was not getting out the bed. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You also can recognize the lessons in your experiences. Something that helped me to move through, not even move through, I'd already kind of started to move through with my son's situation, his medical history and everything. Because, man, we were tackling it. We had so many things going on. Like, somebody's got to keep track, right? Somebody's got to take the lead. Somebody's got to take the reins. And so I had to be strong in situations that I didn't know I was strong enough to be strong through, right? Same thing with my sister's passing. Even though with that, I definitely relied on a couple drugs. Don't judge me. They spent a lot. But I was able to look back with her, with that situation. It was like, so how can what did she do for me in my life that I can do or be for other people? Right? And so she was like, damn it. Y'all know I'm a crybaby, but I had said I wasn't gonna cry. She was one of my biggest supporters. Damn. And I just told her story this weekend. And I did pretty good. I did cry then too, didn't I? Yeah, well, okay. So she was one of my biggest supporters, right? She encouraged me, she cheered for me, and she was just always a support. And she was my glass half full kind of person, for sure. And so I decided, as a result of that and looking back at what I gained from my connection to her, that I wanted to be that for other people, right? And it just so happens that ultimately I learned that I feel like that's part of my life purpose, right? So recognize what lessons there are in your experiences. From my son in that situation, it helped me to connect to people, because we spent so much time in hospitals. And so there were so many parents going through the same things. There were so many children whose parents weren't showing up at all. And they were essentially being nurtured and mothered like children, babies, y'all, by the nursing staff, but it helped me to be more compassionate, helped me to be more empathetic, helped me to be more patient, even though I'm not even where I want to be on that. Boy, y'all know patience is not the Leo strong suit, okay? Anyway, so definitely recognize the lessons that you've learned from your experiences. From that toxic relationship, I learned a lot. You know what you learn. You learn to value yourself. You learn to love yourself. You learn that people are going to treat you how you allow them to treat you. What you settle for is what you'll get. Those types of things, right? Recognize your lessons in the experience that you had. Also, balance your emotions and your actions to kind of create a personal sense of stability, right? So like allow yourself to kind of learn from any emotions that come up. Okay. So when I say balance your emotions and your actions, like I said with my sister, I was in the bed every day. I probably didn't take the kids to school for like a week, right? So we took a week off. Say she passed like on a Monday or Tuesday. We took a week off. Her service was Saturday. So I knew I had to take them back to school that Monday. And it's not because I wanted to, because I wanted to be in the bed and not move, right? I was literally functionally depressed, okay? So when we get to school and I drop them off, I go to the office to give them the notice, and this heifer said something like, y'all, she was like a warden. She was old. Neither, that's neither here nor there. We're not gonna get on her. Anyway, I did at the time though, cause she was like, y'all took a whole week for that, baby. What? I said, and you lucky they here today. So yeah, excuse it or don't. I really don't care. I just felt like this is what we were supposed to do. So you're gonna make a copy of that and give it back to me? Thank you. Like that was my energy, right? So I really could have eaten her up that day, and I kind of did. But it's like knowing the things that you have to do, even if you are in your anger or you're in your sadness or you're in your grief, balance those two so that it's like, okay, I'm good enough today to take this one step, right? I'm good enough this hour to do this one thing, right? So that's what I mean when I say that. So the more that you, gooses, the more that you allow yourself to slowly move forward and to slowly transition, it kind of creates this sense of stability for you on a personal level where it's like, made it through that hour, right? Made it through that minute, made it through that day, right? Be really aware of it. I feel like when you're going through challenges anyway, you are hyper aware of time. Either you're paying attention to how slowly it's passing, or you're looking back like, boy, that went fast. So this is just me saying to redirect your focus towards you and your stability and your desire to move forward and balance that with what you're feeling, but also with what you know you need to get done. I just saw 2233 on the clock. Another message that I got from Spirit, because y'all know I do my little outlines, but pretty much everything that I ever tell y'all is, I was like, Spirit, y'all gonna tell me? And they were like, nope, you're going to come up with it on your own. And so that's what I did, just walking through it. And they were like, yeah, that's what we said. Yeah, that's what we said. Yeah. So that's where we are right now. I also said for you guys to learn from the emotions that come up, right? And this is the thing where you may need some outside guidance, some outside clarity. And that could be from you asking your archangels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, God, source, whatever it is that you believe. You could get advice from a trusted mentor, a trusted friend, a counselor, even a coach, whoever helps you to process or has an ability to help you process your feelings and emotions, right? When this anger is coming up, what is at the root of this anger? If you don't know it and you can't identify it, reach out to someone who will help to show you. This is the experience. When you ask God for clarity in these types of things to guide you or to show you what this is when you have to be aware and on the lookout for videos that pop up, for random messages or slides, or what you feel guided to read or to research, right? Because that is the universe answering your question about guidance, for like what you're supposed to be looking for, looking into. That's going to give you some type of clarity. Like, why is this anger so deep? Why am I feeling this jealous energy right now? Why do I feel the need to? Whatever the case, right? So learn from any emotions that come up. Don't discount your feelings because they are likely trying to show you something, if not just helping you to release, right? To release, to purge, so that you're not holding on to something for longer than you need to or have to. like I have done in so many cases in my past. Um, you also need to forgive yourself. Be sure that you are not carrying any guilt or blame for the way something went or the way that something happened, right? Because at the end of the day, um, it's going to either be for our benefit, right? Our growth, um, or an experience that we had to have. It's like something is to be gained from every single thing that happens to us. So whether it be, I feel like a lot of times people go through things and they're like, oh, I should have known this or I should have seen this, and they carry this guilt or this blame or survivor's guilt you've heard of. Where why wasn't it me? Well, it wasn't you because whatever spirit shows you. I don't want to give many becauses on that, but you know what I'm saying? So ultimately, you really have to forgive yourself. And I only included forgive yourself because we talking about us on a personal level right now, right? But of course, if this is connected to moving forward from certain relationships, you may ultimately be open to you may ultimately be open to forgiving that person as well, but no pressure there. Primary concern is going to be for you to forgive you, right? Um, then this one, I thought this was beautiful. Find comfort in what hasn't changed. Find comfort in what hasn't changed. And gosh, I'm gonna use my sister's situation as an example there. What hadn't changed, it was I still had my family. I still had my friends. I still had my children. I still had my life. I still had things to do. I still had a roof over my head. I wasn't hungry, so I wasn't eating, so that ain't really important, but it was kind of important because the kids got to eat. Like, I still had all of these things, even though I lost that very important thing or situation, right? So focus on and find comfort in what is the same for you. Some of those things, it's like, okay, I am still this amazing being. I still have my good character. I didn't allow this person to change who I was. Like different things like that. Whatever it is for you, find comfort in what hasn't changed. And then, last but not least, because the truth of the matter is, honey, it's so many things in life that are beyond our control. So why not focus on what it is that you have control over? Focus on what it is that you can do. I remember the thing that kind of helped me to snap out of um that helped me to snap out of my grief over my sister. And of course I still carry grief because healing is a cycle. It's not linear, right? It's no straight line and all I'm already healed, right? It's not that. It's something that's going to be recurring, right? But I remember I had a dream probably like 2 months after she had passed away. It might not even been full 2 months. It could have been like 2 weeks. It felt pretty early on where she came to me in a dream and she looked so good and, like real life, y'all. And I was not this spiritual person that I am now. So I just know I had this dream about her. She came to me in my dream. Of course I had my dream analyzed. And I knew what I was getting from it too, intuitively. And I feel like she was just coming to let me know that she was okay. You know what I'm saying? But it was such a realistic dream. It was kind of like disappointing waking up to see that it was just a dream. But at the same time, it was comforting because I knew that she was okay and better than okay, better than when she left, right? And so, like, I was still crying. I was still depressed. Every single moment that I was alone, I was probably crying, right? I definitely shut down in a way that I was showing up for my kids, but it's just to do the things that we have to do. Like get y'all cleaned, get y'all fed, get y'all homework done, and I'm going back to bed. It was that kind of energy. And so one day I heard like this situation came to me. Like when I found out that I was having a boy and not a girl, like I was so sad. I really wanted a girl. And so I cried about that for like that second time. I cried about that for like 3 weeks. And something my sister said at the time was like, I almost censor her words, but she basically said, "Why are you still crying? You can't change it." Like I was like 6 months. You can't change the sex of the baby. So why not just accept it and get over it? Right? And so one day I was laying there. It was probably like 4 months in after losing her. And I was like, and I heard those words in my head. And it was like, yeah, I'm crying over something, but me crying is not going to bring her back. Me crying is not going to undo what's been done. So I can accept it and move forward, knowing that I cannot change it or can't take it back, but I can choose to look at how I move forward and honor her, right? Um, so yeah, it was just really a challenge or a call. I just saw 3111, a call to focus on. Oh, I need some water. Hold on. Sorry. It was just really a call to challenge myself to focus on what it is that I could do, what it is that I could change, what it is that I had power and control over in moving forward, right? So, I feel like that's all I really want to say about that today, guys. But yeah, recognize if you are holding on to something or someone, um, recognize like when it's time to move on from it. Because I feel like when the universe hits you with that tower moment where it makes it like unavoidably obvious that it's time for you to go into your next phase or your next cycle in life, or to let something go, a behavior or belief, I feel like it's more uncomfortable than if you had just let go willingly. Excuse me. Than if you had just let go willingly. Of course, we know like it can be difficult to move forward or to move on. But I also hope that, yeah, because when I tell you, I'm just giving you the tip of the iceberg on the tragedies in my life. I would not have known my strength if I hadn't experienced some of the things that I have experienced that I don't talk about, right? So allow yourself to let go of the things, the thoughts, the behaviors, the people, the beliefs that it just doesn't serve you to hold on to, that it may be keeping you stagnant or it feeling stuck in some way, keeping you from progressing, keeping you from moving into your future, right? You are here. And if you are still here, there's a purpose for you and for your life and for every experience that you've had. There's going to be some value and some worth and something for you to do as a result of what you learned or gained from that. Okay? So we're going to wrap that up right there. I clapped to shake up that energy. I just saw 3333 on the clock. I hope that was helpful for somebody who needed it in this time where we're welcoming in this natural new year, welcoming in spring, and of course with this new start, leaving behind what no longer serves us or what we've outgrown and what's outdated. I really, really, really hope this message benefited you guys in some way. Definitely like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned. If you guys are not on Patreon and you want to join us there, definitely join us there. Love readings are posted there bi-weekly or semi-monthly, twice a month, okay? And of course, I still offer personal readings for all things. Check out my link tree for any platforms that you can contact me through. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope this was helpful, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.